This week I've got Us, which is Jordan Peele's second film as a director, and much like Get Out, it is excellent. I had the opportunity to see it at opening night of South by Southwest, so of course the crowd was going wild. Everyone was super amped up to be there. I was terrified. It is a horror movie. If you haven't seen that from the trailers, very much a horror movie. I think there are a lot of expectations going to this film because Get Out was magnificent. It had so much to say. I think different audiences took different pieces away from it. There clearly was, a whole commentary on being Black in America, or probably just the Black experience in general. But this felt like a straight-up horror film, and maybe I was missing something. I fully acknowledge this. I'd love to hear Jordan Peele kind of unpack it now that people have had a chance or will have a chance to see it. I know he's been very mum on it, but to me it felt like, hey, maybe there's something I'm missing. Again, you hear slightly less of it because everyone's like on edge and screaming at South by at opening night. There are plenty of things that I acknowledge that like maybe this is actually a deeper film and I'm just missing something. But as a first-time viewer, it definitely felt like just more of an A to B straight-up horror story. So it stars Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elisabeth Moss, and Tim Heidecker. And Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke reunited from Marvel's Black Panther. They play a nice married couple with their kids on vacation. And then they are haunted by, and this is not a spoiler if you've seen any of the trailers, they are haunted by a family of themselves. And so then it just becomes this kind of like horror movie. And then there's some like other layers to it that, again, I didn't get on first viewing. Like some of it, I was like, maybe this is a parallel about this and that. And then I thought, maybe I'm just trying to read too much into this and maybe this is just a horror movie. And as a horror movie, it is, I'll say enjoyable in quotes because I do not enjoy horror movies, but I was certainly impressed by this one and it did its job because I sat cowering in fear the entire time. Clearly Jordan Peele is a master of this genre, right? Like he knows what he's doing here. I know he's doing his Twilight Zone stuff, Get Out, of course, amazing in terms of horror and political commentary, I'll say. I'm sure he wants to make a ton more. I know he wants to make a ton more of these types of films. He has found his niche in addition to comedy, I suppose. There are some funny moments too, but also this has just scared the bejesus out of me. So if you're a straight-up horror movie fan, I think you're going to love this film. Obviously, I don't want to go into the plot because that would just ruin it for everybody. So if you're a straight-up horror movie fan, I think you're going to love this film. Do not go in expecting this to be Get Out, right? Like, I think that's the biggest disservice you could do it. This is not Get Out. This is not Get Out 2. This is a whole different film. Just go in and try and enjoy it for what it is. The performances are great. Everyone basically has to play like themselves. So it's twice the acting workload and they do a great job of like sort of showing you the differences between these two versions of themselves. It's so minor. Like, yes, there's like some hair and makeup stuff, but really I feel like you can actually see the acting performances shift. So I'm going to give it 4.8 out of 5. The other film I have this week is called The Hummingbird Project, and this was, what a disappointment compared to Us. This is supposed to be about, it stars Jesse Eisenberg and Alexander Skarsgard and Salma Hayek. Go figure. And they are, Jesse Eisenberg and Alexander Skarsgard play like cousins, I think, and all three of the characters are involved in stock trading at like high speeds and, having a millisecond or a fraction of a second gives you an edge over your competitors. And they're building I can't remember what it was, like a fiber optic pipeline from like one stock exchange to New York. And it has to be in a straight line because that shaves time off. And Salma Hayek plays their boss who, whatever. This is my thing about this film. There were zero sympathetic characters. Like, I couldn't stand any of them. Like, the best thing you could say about one of them is that they're, like, mildly innocuous. And trying to make Alexander Skarsgård into, like, he's an attractive, big, hulking man. Trying to make him into, like, a nerdy, engineer-y, like, shriveled up type, like, just didn't work. He still kind of radiates, like, handsome dude in a bald cap. And then Jesse Eisenberg does fine. He clearly, like, is capable of these high-speed speaking roles. It's his kind of forte. Salma Hayek as the boss is wasted. She's wasted as the boss. I mean, like, yes, she's great as like a ball-busting executive, but like, what is she doing in this movie? And so, again, watched the whole movie and just sat there and I was like, who am I supposed to care about? Because they all seem like assholes. Kind of spoilers, but who cares? Because I don't think you need to see this movie. Alexander Skarsgård's character, it's like, okay, well, he's supposed to be like the most sympathetic one. He's doing this just because he wants to like have nice and home for his kids. Like, abandons his kids for months to go work on this project. And, like, doesn't call and doesn't whatever. I'm just like, well, you're just an asshole then. Like, if you're doing this for your kids or you're supposed to do it, like, go hang out with your kids. I'm sure they'd prefer that. So It was long, it was not great. It was trying to be like super tech savvy, but I didn't feel like it was. Maybe I don't know enough about the field of high stakes trading, blah, 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 to care, but I don't think anybody watching this movie who does come from that industry would care about this. I don't think that adds any depth to the film. I think that's just like facts that you know. I think the most sympathetic character is like the guy who leads their construction crew. Like, what the hell, man? Like, you've got this random dude. Anyway, look, Hummingbird Project, totally skippable. Very unfortunate because it's a great cast, but skippable. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5, and I think that's being nice.